Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? So happy to be here with you today. It is Global Design Project Challenge Thursday. They put the design challenge out every Monday, but I work on mine on Thursdays. And I hope that you guys are going to enjoy this fantastic little card. It's a Z-Fold floral card. Their challenge this week was a color challenge, and it was 3 colors: Blueberry Bushel, Berry Burst, and Azure Afternoon. So those were the 3 colors. I don't know why I didn't put a sticker. I don't know, but we'll fix that. I don't know why I don't have a sticker right there. So easily distracted by these little squirrels in my life, I'm telling you. I'm real good that way. I even put, even if it doesn't say the name, I still stick a color here, and I need to fix that because it would bother me the whole video. All right, so there's our 3 colors. Azure Afternoon, Berry Burst, and Blueberry Bushel, the 3 colors that is this color challenge. And so I took those 3 colors, and this is the card I made. It's a Z-fold, so it pulls out like that. And of course, I'm still using the Paper Florist Dies, which is my focus for the whole week. 2 more days, and then we'll be on to something new next week. So I wanted to show you a few things. I used these fantastic Stitched with Whimsy dies, and I used the largest one, and that is what you see here. See that stitched piece? That's where it came from. And then I used the largest of this rounded rectangle, and that is our main label here that has our sentiment on it. So 3 sets of dies, and my sentiment came from Something Fancy. I love sentiment sets, and it just gives me variety. So I used this one that says, "Here's to beautiful beginnings and happily ever afters." It doesn't have to be just for a wedding. Like, what if your girlfriend gets a new boyfriend or a new, I don't know, puppy, and you want to give her a card about it? Doesn't have to just be for weddings. And then the designer series paper that we're using is Bright and Beautiful. I've been using this paper all week. I love it. And it's this really pretty stripe. I'm going to try and find it for you so that I can show you what piece it is. There's so many different papers in here that it might be hard for me to find, but I'm going to try. Okay, here we go. So it's this piece, and the back side is this stripe. So I used the Berry Burst, gradated, colored, watercolored looking piece of designer series paper. And so let's go ahead and get started. And then these are, I think, the 4-pack. There's the yellow up here. They're called Tinsel Gem 4-pack. That's our embellishment today. Let me clear everything off and get started on this really fun card. All right. We'll put the card over here in the corner. Get our Simply scoreboard out. And we are going to score our base. All right, so the base is scored at 4 1/4 because that's the halfway mark, and then 2 1/8, which is the halfway of a quarter. What, 4 1/4, right? So 2 1/8 and 4 1/4 are the 2 marks. Then I'm going to use my bone folder, and I am going to get this piece back and this piece forward and burnish it as best I can. So I'm going to do the halfway first. Let's do that. That's what I should have done from the beginning. Get that nice halfway, and then this is our halfway backward score. And again. All right, so now on the inside here, we're going to use the largest of the Whimsy dies. And I wanted to do this with you guys so that you could see how it works. So you see that it fits really nicely on our piece of card. So let's grab the big guy. Open it up. Grab our platform, number 1. Number 2, because it's a steel die, number 3. We're gonna lay this here. Put our die. And I'm gonna push this through here. And I'm gonna stop the die right on that score mark, okay? So I need to make sure that it's straight so that I can stop it right on that score mark. Because we don't need to run it any more through there than we need to. So we're just gonna, I put my plate right there. All right. Let's pop it through. I'll show you in a second after I've put this big guy away. I could have done it ahead of time, but I wanted you to see how it works. And so I didn't do it ahead of time. Oh, you never know with me what I'm planning on doing or what I'm, you know, what's going to be for me to show you. So, all right. So let's look at it. When you pull that off of there, you have that really cool cutout. And these come in 2 rectangle sizes and 3 rectangle sizes, a smaller one. You could use this for an embellish, you know, for a label, and then 3 squares. So it's a fun little accent die set. If you don't have it, think about it, because I think you'll enjoy it. All right. So for the inside, I decided to use, since this is Blueberry Bushel, I decided to use Azure Afternoon for the inside. I wanted it to be a nice color. So this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And we're gonna just glue this right here on the inside. So let me get my silicone mat and my multi-purpose. We're gonna get everything prepped and then we will start the process. So, all right. This is gonna go right here in the middle of this little section that we have chosen to do our die cutting on, and just eyeball it. I mean, life's too short to worry about perfection, but I'm a pretty good eyeballer, so I guess that's why I say that. If you're not, then definitely make sure that you're doing it correctly. Now this piece, I'm gonna put the light up, and you can see it's too long right now. So we're just gonna trim it at the end. It's just a hair. See, it's a hair too long, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put my adhesive on here, and then I will trim that on the back end once it's glued into place. Oops. All right. And this is gonna go on this little flap that's turned back. So what I wanna do is I wanna line it up on that scored piece and make sure that no blueberry bushel shows on that side. And since you have a little wiggle room, you can do that. And I'm just gonna press that into place. And then I'm just gonna trim the excess off with my paper snips. And I'd rather have it be a little bit too long than to be a little too short. So we'll trim that one, and then we'll trim this one. All right, we're good to go. Let me throw these little tiniest little pieces away. All right. So here is our main card, and here's our white piece that's going to go right here. Okay. So before I attach this down, and it's going to be glued with wet glue also, multi-purpose, I'm going to get out my blueberry bushel, which is the color that I stamped mine in. And I'm going to ink this up, and it's going to be on the right side. You can see that it's on the right side, so we have room to really nest these pretty the flowers on here. So I'm going to stand up because I want to make sure that I'm getting it properly, and I'm going to try and get it even top to bottom as best I can, mostly to the right, and go ahead and stamp that. There we go. It will lighten a little as it dries. And I'm going to let that just sit to the side for right now. I don't want to get anything to smudge or have any problems. And since we're going to be working on some flowers, we're going to have some time before we glue that. So just going to get it out of the way. I'm going to set it over there with this piece. All right, so let me show you the flower pieces that we are going to use. So as far as leaves are concerned, you're going to need 2 of this leaf and 2 of this leaf, okay? And those are, you only get 1 leaf of each kind. So it's this one and that one. So you'll have to cut them both twice, okay? I'm gonna try and keep everything nice and attached here as I show you. All right, now we have 2 sprays that have small buds on them, and so that are these pieces. So we're gonna need 2 of those, and that is this die right here. And then of course you need the matching buds, right? There they are. So you're gonna need 2 of these, also in basic white. All of them are in regular basic white. You are also, let's get those up here. All right. Then you have 2 of these little flowers that look like mini sunflowers, okay? So you're gonna need 2 of those and 2 of these with the little dots in them. And they are from this die right here. This is the sunflower one. And then the large speckled circle is right there. All right. Then we're gonna need 2 of these crazy daisies. We named these on Tuesday in my live. We've decided that that's what we're gonna call these little flowers here. And so that, you get 2 of them in 1 die. This is this die right here, all right? So you're gonna need to cut this twice, just like you did the leaves, and you'll end up with 4 of these guys, okay? And the centers of those are going to be the match to this one, only it's a little smaller, and you can see it right here, okay? So you need 2 of those. Then you're going to need 2 of these little guys. I'm going to show you. All right, and those, you get 2 of them in the die set. So it's this one and this one, so you can just run it through one time. And then there's this die right here, which is really cool, okay? So with this die, you're gonna get a large and a small, and then a large and a small, okay? And you're gonna need to run that through 2 times, okay? So you want 2 times you're gonna run it through. I hope I'm not out of camera. I think I am a little bit. But let's see if I can move these guys over a little. And here's the other one. All right, so now we're in camera. And I'll put these up above. They go with those, okay? And this is another center that we're gonna use with those same pieces, okay? And then the very last, I did one flower that was a stitched circle and a small stitch circle. And of course, those are the counterparts to the dotted ones. So you're gonna need one of each. And that is all of our flowers. I know, a lot of pieces, but hey, it's worth it. Look at how fantastic this card is, right? Beautiful. And this is a card you would do for somebody special, right? All right, so let's start doing some ink blending. Let's start first with blueberry bushels. So I'm gonna bring that right here. We'll start with our blueberry bushel pad. So we're gonna need 2 small X's and one of these little guys. That's gonna be one of the flowers. We're gonna need one of these little sunflowers. That's also gonna be one. And then we're gonna do a crazy daisy, which is this, and they get one of these. So those are gonna be that color blue. And let's go ahead and get our blueberry bushel small brush. And I start off, because this is a very dark color, and I'm just going to slightly ink up and be gentle around our little X's. So we're going to do both of those. And you can actually put them down and go in between like this if you want to. All right. And then for this one, I wanted it to be really dark. So I'm just going to press over the top of it and just keep darkening it until I get it as dark as I want it. All right. So that's pretty good. So there's one of them. Okay. We're going to put those together like this, and this is going to be on top. So there's one. Now for our sunflower, I'm not going to re-ink. The blue is really nice and dark, so I'm just going to go around the outer edges like so. And then I want to add, like I did there, but not quite as dark. So I'm just going to go till it's about medium. And then that one is our little sunflower. And then our last one is our crazy daisy. So this one, I'm just going to go over my petals. This is the top layer. All right. And my back layer, I want it to be a little darker. So I'm just adding a little bit more ink, but I'm going to rub most of it off. And then I'm going to come back across my daisy here. All right, so that's that one. And then for the center, I would also, this one actually is not the center for that one. Sorry, I made a mistake. I don't, oh, here it is, this one. This is the center of the one. Oh, I actually made a complete mistake. Sorry, guys. All right, we're going to re-ink this one. Pretend I didn't ink that one up. It's good I did a light inking. Sorry. It's this little X. I did the little X. It's the larger X. So I did 2 X's for this one. So we're going to go ahead and do some inking lightly. Luckily, the light, the azure will go right over the top. And since it's blue and not pink, we'll be okay. We're going to add a little bit more color here. And then we have this really pretty little piece, and we're gonna just go over the top like that and give it some pretty blue color. And then these are gonna go like this. That's our, sorry guys, those are our 3 blue ones. Sorry about that. And then I used a different color scrap paper for each one. See, because I didn't want to blend them together and get the wrong colors. So that's why I did that. Let's go to the one that I messed up, and we'll start with that one next. We'll glue them all together in a minute. I just want to do all my inking first. All right, so for this one here, what we want to do is bring in the one that I made the mistake on. All right, so let's bring it in, and we're gonna brighten it up. This is a much brighter, and it's a different blending brush. So I'm gonna pick it up, and again, I'm gonna, you know, run it over here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of brightness. I didn't mean to add that much, but it's okay. It will help to brighten it by me doing that. We'll just use that for the bottom one. And then we're gonna overlay on the edges, kind of on the two sides of the real thin little petals. I'm gonna try and get this one and this one. I really love that. And then it's gonna get one of these. That's where I got confused. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? And I don't want this to be super dark, but I do want it to have that azure bright color. There we go. All right, so see, you can't even tell that it used to be blueberry bushel. So that's gonna go there, and there is its center. All right, so let's move on to the next one. That is that color. We have the small X's and this piece right here. And this one, I'm just gonna use what's left over. I don't want a ton of color. And again with this one. I really love adding color, especially to the white pieces. You could also blend your paper and then die cut them out, and that would be really pretty. And we're gonna go over the top like we did with the other ones, kind of holding it down and pressing my brush in a circular motion to add some pretty blue onto that. All right, so this one is our next flower. And there is our center. All right, and then this one's gonna get a set of buds in this color. And so for these, I'm just gonna ink up a little bit. I'm gonna start blending, and I'm gonna add this and just let it grab color as it will in a circular motion. I just want it to be not very dark. And because they're so small, they're hard to hold on to. So you're just gonna go until you're happy with the results. That's all the inking we're gonna do for that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just place it near that one, the 3 petals. All right, let's see. I think that's it for blue. I think we're gonna move on to our pretty berry burst color. Since the card had a lot of blue in it, I'm gonna grab my baby wipe. I keep a baby wipes next to me, and I will wipe off the ink as I go because, you know, it happens. It gets on your fingers. Of course, that's the name. Inky hands, warm hearts, right? All right, let's move on with Berry Burst. All right, so we're going to do our Crazy Daisy. So I think I have plenty of color on here. I'm just going to go around the outer parts and add a little pink. And of course, the outer edges is what I want to be darker than the center. So there's one. I'm gonna do the other one. This is such a pretty color. And I love that you get an ombre look with these, which is why I chose to use that ombre looked designer series paper. And then this one's gonna get, again, same way, just little by little, just keep depositing that darker color until you get the look you want. This one is gonna go pink, so we're gonna just go over the top. This one's gonna stay lighter, this one's gonna be darker, so I'm gonna hold on to it and really make sure that it grabs a lot of that really pretty pink. There we go. So that's gonna be one of the flowers. we're gonna do these 3 buds. So again, I'm just gonna lightly go over the top. I just wanna add a hint of pink to the edges. And if I need to add, I will, but I will rub it off. You see, I don't want it super dark. So that's why I like to use my, my scratch paper underneath it. All right, so there's my pink buds. And 3. We're gonna do a sunflower. Again, do the outer edges. Like this, and then we're gonna work on the inside, just like I showed you with the other ones. Going in a circle to darken that. There's that one, pretty. And I think I have one more flower to go. Here it is. The large X's and then this center. So let's go ahead and get this one done, right? It's gonna be our darkest piece. And then that way, some of the ink will be wiped off. And then we can come around these edges. Actually gonna leave it on here. And just add a little hints of pink. There's one. And the last one. So pretty. All right, let's assemble some flowers. The hard part is done. I am gonna clean my hands with my baby wipe, just in case I have any ink on my fingers. All right, I think we're good now. All right, let's put my baby wipe away. All right, so let's go ahead and start. We're going to do a lot of adhering with dimensionals and wet glue. All right, so we'll start with the Crazy Daisies. So the way that I did these is I went ahead and I used just a dab of wet glue in the center of the 2 large ones. Make sure I'm in camera here. I think I am. Make sure, yeah, I am. Okay, sorry. I can't tell because I set my camera kind of high up. All right, so there is that one. And I'm gonna try and figure out how I want my pretty other set of petals. That looks good to me. And we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Figure out, maybe like that. That's pretty. All right. And then I'm gonna use mini dimensionals and we're gonna lift up the centers. So that will go there and that one will go here. Use my take your pick tool. And we will adhere the 2 Crazy Daisies, okay? Let's move on to this pretty pink X flower. So this one, I'm gonna actually adhere dimensionals to put them together. So we intersperse those X's and it looks like a daisy, only it's separated. And then I'm gonna do another dimensional. So we actually have a little stack. And then this one is gonna get this really pretty topper on it, okay? We're gonna do the same thing here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have 1, and then we have 2. So let's pull the backs off. So these get locked, and then this one forms its top, okay? So there's that one. These 2 just get adhered, one on top of the other. So I'm gonna put that one in the center, pull the backs off, and add that. Let's put this one together. So this one has, again, similar to our other, we're gonna do a little sandwich of mini dimensionals. So we'll put one there, one here, pull the backs off of them, stack them, one on top of the other, and then this is going to be its little topper. Isn't this one cute? So there's that one. Let's do the other one that's similar to it. You can see how quickly this comes together once you know what you're doing and you figure out how you want to stack your flowers together. All right, so let's stack these on top of each other. All right, there's that one. We have our sunflowers next. These are going to get the large, or the regular size. They're not really large, but they're large compared to the minis, right? All right. And we will put those centers on them. So those, there we go. And then the final pieces are gonna be these pretty little buds. So I'm gonna bring them up here and lay them out like that. And what I will do is I'm going to add a little dot of glue on the bottom of each of these. Whoops, my glue is deciding that it wants to spew. It does that from time to time. So I'm gonna move some of that from that one to this one and to this one. Okay. So now we will hold these little stems. We'll put the large one first, then the next one, and the next one. And there is one. We'll do the same thing with the other color. 1, 2, 3. All right, all of our flowers are put together. It is time to work on our fantastic card. All right, so now we can glue this. This is happily dry and it won't smudge if I touch it. I am gonna figure out where I want my piece and how much I want to show of this particular azure. And I want about 1/2 inch showing. So that's good. And I want about the same on the top and the bottom. So once I figured out my placement, and when I'm happy with that, I'm going to actually lift this open and then hold this side and drop that side. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Now I'm going to place this down, and I'm actually going to put my mat in between. I just moved it. Let's try again. Let's do that one more time. Sorry, guys. All right, we're gonna move this 1/2 inch here. Same top and bottom. That looks good. All right, I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna put my mat here. Then I'm going to lay this flat and drop this pink side. The pink side is where the glue is going, okay? So once I have this down, I'm good to go. So I can add my glue by holding this in place. Okay. And now I'm gonna just lay this flat. It's gonna grab it. I'm gonna lift it up, put this in place, and just straighten it if it needs a little straightening. But for the most part, sorry, I think I was out of camera. I just straighten this piece if it needs a little straightening. I'm gonna hold it up so I can make sure that I'm happy with it, and I am. And if you got any glue on your fingers or anything stuck, of course, you know, our handy dandy adhesive eraser there is the way to go. So now we're ready to start adding our florals to our piece here, okay? So the first thing that you want to do, and I'm going to start with these, I'm going to put my leaves in place, okay? So the first leaf is going to be this one, and it's going to be laid like this onto my front piece. So I'm going to actually take some small pieces, and I use the little ends and bits and pieces of, whoops, my dimensionals. It looks like that got stuck under there. There we go. Of all my little ends, and I'm actually going to cut some small little pieces off of there, and I'm going to adhere them onto my leaf. Just these two pieces here. Okay, because both of them are going to be on my card like so. And I'll worry about gluing the rest later, but for right now, these two are going to live there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my backs off of those pieces and lay my really beautiful piece here. Okay. And our next flower is going to be this one. So I'm just going to kind of hold it here. And I want some of these behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and place this here. See that it doesn't overhang. And when I'm happy with that placement, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of wet glue and tuck that behind that leaf like so. That way it'll be ready to go into place when I put my flower, and it'll be sticking up out behind that. Now our next little piece is going to go here in this corner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of attached wet glue just on this bottom, kind of like a C. And that's all I'm going to glue down, and I'm going to put it in place right there. Remember, I'm going to cover all of these with my flowers. So this one I want to kind of hang off kind of in this direction. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this back section and put it in place. And when I am settled and I'm happy with where, you know, my flower has done its, you know, fantastic placement, I can always secure these after the fact, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave them. And then we're gonna do one of these maybe in this corner coming out like this. So we'll just put a little bit of adhesive on that stem portion. And then we will do our C on the bottom of this. And once I have my leaves in place, then it just becomes a matter of sticking my flowers down to cover all of that leaf portion, okay? So I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm gonna do in a C formation, and I'll use bits and pieces and parts and, you know, use up all these little ends. So I'm gonna start by putting a piece behind my daisy. My crazy daisy. I can't remember who said that on Tuesday, but I love it. So whoever did it, I give you props because I love that name for this particular flower. So we're going to go ahead and place that down, and it's going to cover that area right there. Okay. And you can always tuck and move and, you know, figure out where you want it. But once you have this part down, you're good to go. Now we're going to tuck this one in. You know, when you tuck, you want to make sure you intertwine your petals, that all your pieces kind of mesh together. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of wet glue for this one. This one's already kind of puffed. So I'm just going to put some wet glue in the center. And I'm going to slide this one in. And once everything's secured and happy, I can always lift petals, like put this one on top like this, or lift this one up here. Like, you can do that once everything's in place and secured to your card. You don't want to mess with it too much when you're gluing your pieces down, because you want everything to kind of stay secure. So we're going to work on using up these little parts and pieces. So I'm going to tuck this one here. I'm going to move it underneath, and I'm going to kind of fill that spot. And then I'm going to put this little baby blue one back here and kind of tuck it up and around. I just want to make sure that that petal's not under that glue. But I'm going to place it down and get it to grab. And I can always, like I said, later arrange my little floral parts and move, like flick up, lift, move, you know, adjust. So there's that one. Next comes our other flower. This one I'm going to tuck one of them underneath, and I'm going to lift this one up. So I'm going to put a little bit of my dimensionals on here. And I'm going to just tuck that one like so, right there. Next comes our Crazy Daisy, and this one's going to fill this little corner up. So I think I'm going to put it like this, and I think I want to raise that up. So I'm going to grab a little dimensional backing, maybe like that. That looks pretty. I want to make sure that we can see part of this leaf. So I'm going to position it more forward and just make sure that my petals aren't covering my words. Okay. Let's move on. We have 3 flowers left. You can see it's just putting your puzzle together however you want it to look. So we'll stick this dimensional there. And I'm going to add this one kind of up like that. And remember, we can move our petals around as we need to when the time is right. Okay, we'll put another one of these guys here, and we'll put the last one right here. Let's pull our backs off, and we are almost complete. All right, so we're gonna put this one here. I'm gonna make sure that this petal is over like that. I don't wanna cover the words that say forever after. And then I'm gonna tuck this one right here. I'm very happy with that. What do you guys think? I think it looks great. So now's the time to start messing around with your little petals on your flower, figuring out what you want on top, what you want on the bottom. And you see how I'm just starting to mess with those. I like that pink one here, but I want to bring that up like that. I think that's good. I'm happy with the rest of that. And the final step for this particular card is we're going to go ahead and put our little embellishments on. And again, I'm using the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. They come in these really pretty colors. I'm going to use the blue ones. So we're going to start with 2 large ones. So we'll start with this one, put down here maybe. How about over here? Yeah, I like that. And then we'll put a little one up at the top somewhere. Let's see, maybe here? No, maybe here? Here? Right there. There we go. I love that. That turned out fantastic. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me make this really fun card. Again, the Global Design Project Challenge is something that I will be doing every Thursday. The final step for this card is I'm going to add some Wink of Stella because I love sparkle. And Wink of Stella always makes everything better, right? You got to have sparkle on your projects. I love how it looks. And so I'm going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Now I'm going to come over here and do my pink flowers. And I love that sparkle and shine, especially in person. You can see Wink of Stella used. This one's getting a little dry on me, I think, but it still has some left in the brush. So I'm gonna add to these buds. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And then I'm even gonna add some to my white leaves that are peeking out. And I think that's really a very pretty touch to it. All right, guys, so check that out. We used the Paper Florist Dies, the Nested Essentials for our main label. What else did we use? We used the Stitched with Whimsy dies, and then our stamp set was Something Fancy. Don't forget, we also used the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, if you like these, and the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper for this really pretty section right here. All right, I guess I will see you guys next time. I hope that if you haven't watched my other videos with the Paper Florist Dies, that you will tune in and check those out as well. I'm so happy to have you with me on my channel. Please share my video with your friends and help me grow my channel. I would love it if you'd become a subscriber. And if nothing else, pin this video on your Pinterest so that you can come back to it later and work on it. I appreciate you guys being here. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!